I never want to be here again. I hate this all. I hate this life. It's no way she's supposed. I think she should go and get help and let DDG get his son, y'all. Seriously. I think she should go and get help and let DDG get his son. You shouldn't be going to Italy. Seriously. You can't be going to Italy. And the reason.
Hold on. Hey, so basically. Nigga, my shit was fucking muted. So basically, so DDG and Hallie, you know, they was together for a little minute, right?
Right.
So cool. So then they split up and cool. So now they saying. So remember a couple months ago, Hallie said that DDG was abusive and he beat on her.
Right.
And so that came out to be disproven. And then text messages came out between her and DDG and her. And she talking about she want to kill herself, and she, you know what I'm saying, that like she was basically going crazy. You know, like she blowing up this nigga phone, talking about she gonna kill herself and all this shit, saying that this nigga that slept with hoes that he never slept with. What the fuck wrong with my shit? Oh shit. He slept with hoes that he never slept with and all this type of shit, all this woo out the blam. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so now, you know, she you know, she's trying to get a restraining order against this nigga. She trying to say that she wants this nigga to be monitored parenting and all this shit. She don't have sole custody, but she was saying that she wanted to off herself and all this other shit. Saying that she, you know what I'm saying, that she hate him. She don't never want to see him no more. And apparently, she didn't beat on him. She didn't rose the knife to this nigga, bro. She didn't pull it up to his spot with a gun. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like this was crazy, bro. With the baby in hand.
Got a remark from Mercado. Appreciate it. Me too. That's a nutty ass.
Hallie. Hallie girls, what you thinking for?
Dude, that's like typical baby mama, bitter baby mama behavior, nigga. No bullshit.
Yeah.
The world
Talk to me.
that shit was like real life everyday shit. But she cute, you know what I'm saying? The people, don't let her cry, nigga. They gonna believe everything she said. It's crazy that he beat the shit out of her. Yeah, I'm sure he kicked her in the fucking head. I'm sure of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I do think he should get the son though. If she don't feel like she want to be here and shit, that shit ain't right. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I couldn't imagine he having baby mamas and shit like this. One of them wanted to off they said, yeah, give me the baby, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, you got to screw like you would do it to yourself, you would do it to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You would. Like get irritated with the baby crying and shit, asking for his daddy and shit.
Nah, bro, I don't even think it's that. I think she was just manipulating that nigga, bro. She was trying to manipulate that nigga, bro.
Type shit. Think she ain't even really sad like that.
You feel me?
Type shit.
Bro, listen to this shit. Hold on, I'm finna pull up a video real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna pull up a little video real quick.
I think I have anxious attachment style. Everybody knows I'm an Aries, I'm a fire sign. I get very passionate.
Listen to this shit.
I seem nice online and innocent and everything, but you guys do not know. I will go to battle with my yelling, with my words, everything. I'm good at that, right? And if I gotta yell or check anyone, that's what I gotta do. That's just the way I be. Clap back or sit back. I always have to choose clap back. I'm sorry. I'm a very kind person. But if somebody pokes at me or the people that I love, it's over for you. I'm an Aries. Sorry.
What the fucking Aries got to do with anything? But keep going.
Never have I ever started drama with my boyfriend for no reason.
They playing a never have I ever game. And she put her fingers down.
Put it down. I'm territorial. I'm a jealous girlfriend. I'm a territorial girlfriend. Where you go, who are you with? That's me. I am nosy, number one. Number two, I like drama.
She licked her lips when she said that too. Pause. Like, you know what I'm saying?
She said she liked drama?
Yes, bro, and she licked her lips. Facts. Hold on.
Don't like drama in my life, but I love watching it in other people's. So, I love my baby so much. I need him with me in order to function, in order to be able to do the scenes and everything. So, I was like daddy and son time.
Basically, in that clip, she called the nigga good dad, and basically she was just saying that she can't go nowhere without her son. Like, nowhere. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So in other words, basically, yeah, make it no more. Now she had her act fucking retarded.
She had her acting ignorant, fool. And like, the crazy part is like I was saying earlier, like, you know, she signed to Jay-Z now, fool. So, man, you know how that shit go, bro. This shit about protecting that money, bro. So DDG, you gotta go, nigga. You beating on her, fool. But at the same time, so now I don't know what the fuck DDG got going on. I don't even know these niggas like that, but I just know her. You know what I'm saying? And I know, like, you know what I'm saying, nigga, your ass be going through it with whoop, whoop, whoop. You know what I'm saying? And all that shit. So it's like, man, that's, like you said, that's some classic shit, bro. What the fuck, nigga? Like, how the fuck this nigga, what the fuck this nigga do? Just because y'all trying to protect this bitch. You know what I'm saying? You gonna try to tear down this nigga career. And then on the back end, you gonna try to gut this nigga dry and have this nigga pay child support. That's crazy. Sick.
Yeah, man, that's gnarly.
Fuck. Fuck. Shit, this nigga talking about.
That bitch is crazy, bro.
Bro, she sent me. Hold on, let me see if I can pull up the messages. Let's see what you saw. Let me pull up the messages real quick. That nigga DDG say, nah, she say, you don't want to be with me, that's okay. I would never beg anyone. I will be successful. I don't need to be with anyone who's going to demean me. You like that I'm insecure. It makes you feel good about yourself. I'm not doing this anymore. Keep your phone on airplane mode. Bro, she blowing this nigga up. Don't come to my funeral or anything. Fuck you. Be happy that these are the last texts you get from me. Holy
That's
shit.
Sick.
This is back in 2022.
Trying to gas like
To just answer the phone, to just hear me, to just try to understand where I'm coming from, but you don't, and you'll regret it. But this is like, you'll regret it message. You will regret ever meeting me. Sin. Go back to bitches you're used to. Sin. Go back to fucking thoughts. Sin. That's what you want. Sin. You will never, you know what I'm saying? You've never wanted anyone like me. Look at this shit, bro. Oh, shit, I have to put it up. You and your family hate me. Just admit it. But that's okay. Everyone does. But Poseidon? What the fuck are you talking about? Poseidon, bitch? You talking about like? You talking about fucking? What the fuck? Thank you. Somebody in the chat said admitting she's the problem, so we're just justifying domestic abuse. Nah, what you mean justifying domestic abuse? Wait. You talking about? Nah, bro. He didn't beat her.
Shit, that sounds like more like she's more abusive than him, dude. Shit.
Bro, didn't it come out that she was like being abusive with him, and like he was trying to restrain her in it's in a fucking court order, bro. I ain't trying to like get too on your ass too much, but like it was in a court case that bro them that he was trying to restrain her, and like her head hit the fucking and she chipped her tooth on the fucking steering wheel. So nigga, she was crazy, dog. This is some crazy shit. That bitch said, and you can show these texts to whoever you want. Laugh about it now. Goodbye. I'm gonna go home. I just want to resolve it now. Bro, this is crazy. I feel sorry for her on the low, bro.
I don't.
You don't ever have to talk to me again, but I can breathe right now. But I can't breathe right now. I'm just so stupid. This whole thing is so stupid. I want to die. I never want to. Bro, she typing so fucking fast. She fucking up. I never want to. Instead of be here, it's an N-E. Jesus Christ. I never want to be here again. I hate this all. I hate this life. I tried begging my only friend to come help me. Jesus Christ. That nigga DDG said, please stop taking it to the extreme. Jesus. I'm still communicating with you. Oh, Lee.
Yeah, she just want somebody to give in for that shit. Probably used to that shit. So when you cry and say you don't want to live no more, everybody, oh, baby, come on, it's all right. I ain't get that shit, you rich. Sweet. All right, man.
This shit is some nasty work, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Look, if it come out that he came out and it comes out that he was beating on this bitch and all this shit, but it seems like from what's coming out now, she was the abuser, my nigga. So I ain't gonna lie.
I don't think he's abusing her bitch. I do think he probably had to hit her 1 or 2 times in their relationship.
Hell no, I don't even think that happened. But it would have came out.
She seemed like the type that'll get mad and start throwing shit at you and grabbing on you and all that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Eventually, you're going to have to scrape one time.
Haley Bailey threatens to go through abortion unless her relationship is restored, using the pregnancy as leverage to control DDG. There's no fucking way, bro. Petitioners threatened me by demanding that we reconcile, or she would go through with the abortion. This is the most troubling of her attempts to coercively control me, bro. This shit crazy. With the fact she should without informing me, I made the decision to cut ties with her. I could no longer be subject to controlling behavior, despite making it clear I wanted out of relationship. Petition. But like, I ain't like, come on, bro. I don't even think, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even think he beat her, bro. Like, dead ass at all, bro. And then, bro, wait. And then the day of the fucking event, the day of the basically supposedly when she got beat on, she was at a fucking show, smiling it up, like having fun. What the fuck? So, anyway, what's up, bro? What you saying?
Me?
Yeah.
I was just saying, they probably had a physical altercation, though. Once or twice.
No, probably.
I don't think it was nothing like where he trying to like fuck her up or nothing like that. But you know what I'm saying? I think she probably laid hands on Buddy a couple of times. He probably had to.
Bro, this nigga, she had a knife.
That's what I'm saying. Like a situation like that, people look like, I'm gonna touch you back down.
This is proof for leaving me at the hand. I'm going to kill myself tonight. My son will not be around for it. I hate you forever. You can have him and go let her be his mom.
What? Yeah,
I can't believe you're acting like, bro. This is back in 2022.
That's fucking nasty.
Oh, this was that part was 2024. Jesus Christ. She trying, bro. She trying to, she wanted them home. She trying to be. Man. I don't know, bro. I want to be on her side, bro. I want to be, but it ain't looking too good, dude. It ain't looking too good, dude.
She need to coat that motherfucker.
Nah, she don't need to coat shit. She gonna end up crashing out. She coat that motherfucker. End up dead at that motherfucker.
Yeah, that motherfucker. Ain't anybody else doing that motherfucker.
I want to see how's the audio
So
on this?
it seems like she just got like a rejection problem, and then this nigga got some bitch that she feel threatened by. He just let her be his mom and all that old stupid ass shit.
Say it again.
I was saying, it seems like she just got a problem because she done been rejected. He deal with some female that she just really don't like her. For her to say, just let her be his mom, you know what I'm saying? Like, this.
Okay, yeah, I can. Audio's good. Audio's good. Audio's good. Audio's good. Audio's good. All right, cool. Audio good. Audio good. Ah, bro, my YouTube be tripping. What's up? Man, I wanted to watch other shit, but now I can't even watch other shit because of the damn YouTube tripping. I put on my Dewey. I think my cousin gonna be on the way soon. Bro, what's up with the tube with a U, bro? What's up? Hey, no. Hey, yo, son. Hey, yo, son. What's going on, bro? What's up with the YouTube? Damn, YouTube really like bugged out like that? Am I tweet? Right, my tweet.
Hey, fool, that motherfucker said he could wear a wig in this heat. He could be a firefighter for real.
Who said that?
I'm like, okay, stupid shit. If you wear a wig right now, you could be a firefighter. Swear. No problem.
Hey, bro, I'm finna lose my top.
So they're gonna be like, about the music.
Nah, I wasn't even streaming when I playing the music. Oh my god. Sir. Oh no. To the no. Hell to the no. 1 second. Turn that off. And let's just fully back out of this shit. What's going on with the YouTube, cuz? I don't like that. I like that not one bit. Hell yeah. Got it back up, fuck nigga. Hey, so alright. Hey, cool. Another thing I wanted to watch. Cool. Alright, let's see.
Today was a horrible day for the defense. Trafficking, all these other crimes, a little bit harder to prove. What doesn't lie are financial records. And they got Diddy dead to rights when it comes to bribery and extortion. That something like this could ruin him.
Check him out.
He wanted a video. He said if it got out, it would ruin his career. Mr. Gomes put the cash through the money counter. There were stacks of $10,000 at the time. The machine displayed at the end $100,000. RICO, which is racketeering, and that's what my mom used to call me. Que rico. Wait, no, I've heard that in porn somewhere. That's weird. Wide range of criminal activity, including trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, bribery, arson, obstruction of justice, and narcotics distribution. Starting today, they get the bribery down. The reason why is they called in the hotel staff and the hotel security, Cassie tape, right? The one who went upstairs and stopped the whole thing from happening.
So the security that stopped everything from happening, right?
So they brought this guy in. He didn't want to testify. He pleads the fifth. So obviously they give him immunity, so he can't plead the fifth. I don't know what pleading the fifth is. It's when you basically invoke your right, which is like the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution says that, you have the right to not incriminate yourself in any kind of court proceeding, right? So you invoke the fifth, that stops you from testifying. The prosecution wants him to testify, so they give him immunity, so there's no chance he can be charged. So now he has to testify. But that immunity does not count against perjury, meaning you cannot go on the stand and lie. He gets on the stand because not only does it implicate Diddy, but it implicates his employees. Remember, we're talking about a criminal enterprise. Was Diddy part or head of an organization in which multiple people were engaged in crimes in furtherance of said enterprise?
You feel what I'm saying? Cool.
And I think one misinterpretation that people have is they think like RICO only has to be about making money. It's not. Sometimes it could be a way to further set crimes. So let's say if Diddy's really obsessed with, you know, a specific set of crimes that he likes to commit and he wants to get away with. If an organization is colluding together, like multiple people are colluding together.
So, and it's like, you know, it said in a court case that, you know, he got people that like, you know, would set up people in like lie detector tests for like 5 days in a row, or if girls will pass out, he would have, you know, this woman, he would have her like put them in showers and like undress them and like get them, you know, comfortable and shit like that. Like, he would have like people like sell Molly, X, you know what I'm saying, all type of shit. You feel me? Coke, dope, whatever you want. You know what I mean?
To help them make those crimes happen, even if it's not for financial gain, it could still be considered RICO. So, AUSA is the person, basically the state. March 10th, 2016, which is the time where the attack on Cassie happened on camera. Where did you work on the day in question? The Intercontinental Hotel. I was told there was an incident involving Sean Combs. Did you see him there? Why was law enforcement not called? Garcia says Mrs. Ventura did not request it. AUSA says, did you review the incident report? Yes, there was an attachment that I didn't open on the computer, a video file. Did you receive a call? Yes. From who? Christina Coram with the New York area code. She asked if I had the video. Christina Coram is the one that a lot of people have been talking about. It's Diddy's like top assistant. She allegedly took care of a lot of the dirty business for him behind the scenes in terms of silencing other.
Bro, and tell me why this bitch is a white bitch.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know if you're gonna talk about it in this bitch, but it's basically saying she might come around and she might flip on this nigga Diddy, because right now they saying, cause like right now it's basically saying like, all right, bro, if you was involved with, bro, remember we were to talk about this shit like last week. If you, nigga, we think everybody should go to jail, nigga. Everybody go to fucking jail. So
Y'all
nigga,
all some fucking freaks.
all y'all some fucking freaks. All y'all should go to jail. So, but a lot of these niggas, they saying like now, like, all right, bro, like, fuck, nigga, this was just my job, nigga. This was a good ass lifestyle. Like, I ain't gonna lie, this nigga was a fucked up nigga. He might have been on a bitch, but that nigga paid me goddamn $300,000, $400,000, nigga, $200,000, nigga. He nigga paid me well, and nigga, we went to
Changed
fucking
my life.
Nigga, he changed my life, nigga. We was going to fucking trips, nigga. We was having a ball, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But what he was doing, it was what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nigga, I sold some cocaine here, nigga. I might have sold some Plan Bs, nigga. Yeah, I might set up a couple freak offs, nigga. Yeah, I might did that. But so now the law, they in the courtroom like, all right, nigga, bet all y'all some hoes, bet. Oh shit. All y'all some hoes, so bet, nigga, we gon' bet all y'all some hoes, so nigga, we are going to have all y'all go to jail. You feel me? So all y'all gonna go to jail, and then nigga, you gon' and nigga, y'all, oh, I can't even get my fucking thoughts together. All y'all gonna go to jail, and if y'all don't rant or y'all don't say anything, nigga, everybody gonna getting hit up. Fuck, that's what he's saying. That's what the law is saying right now. Everybody gonna get hit up. Everybody gonna go to jail. So y'all either say something, you can't lie, bitch. You lie. If we catch you on a lie, bitch, you going to jail. Everybody gonna go to jail.
You don't say that, you going to jail.
You know what I'm saying? You going to fucking jail. So nigga, that's what's going on right now. So everybody like, shit, bet. So the nigga security guard, he came in there. I'm gonna sum up this whole video. We ain't gotta watch the whole video. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't feel like sitting here watching through this whole video. The people that's watching, I'm sorry. I do not feel like watching this whole video. I already watched it. But basically, the fucking security guard, he was like, all right, bet, cool. Like, did he offer him $50,000?
Y'all gonna have to put it inside of this thing that I got right here. Take this one out and put that one in there.
Hey, so the dude he offered Diddy offered the dude $50,000. So the security guard went to his boss. Good dude. I ain't gonna lie. Solid individual, bro. You know what I'm saying? He went to his boss and like, hey, bro, that nigga Diddy offered me $50,000 for that tape. So they made a copy of the tape, put it on another USB, made a badass copy of that bitch. Went to the law, broke the law down, and he's like, hey, nigga, he did offer me $50,000 and I took it. But and they gave the money to the police. Good nigga. Good nigga. You know what I'm saying? But he was gonna split the money with his boss too. G money, G shit. That nigga G shit. And I think he gave his boss bulk of the cut, which is on some retarded shit, nigga. I would have what? Nigga off me 50. Nigga, I'm boss man. Yeah, nigga, you my boss, so you gonna take about 25 of this and the rest is mine, cuz. You feel me? But yeah. So everybody getting hit up. That nigga Diddy going to jail for at least 20 years. I think. For the rest of his life.
What did he get, like 50?
53.
Yeah, that's about the end of that.
Yeah.
After you just get dead.
And this is my personal theory about this whole thing with Diddy, bro. Like, I think, bro, I know people be like, man, why the fuck you care about this shit? I think I care about it because it's like it tells me not just about black folks, nigga. It tells me about nigga us humans, nigga. Like nigga, this shit is it just tell us nigga how the game really go. Like when you get up to the top.
Shit light on some shit you never thought of kids.
Man, like bro, them like
P Diddy, he ain't doing no shit like that. Shit.
P Diddy after he got too big for his britches. I think that once that liquor shit popped off. That shit, them niggas were like, all right, bro, you getting way too big, bro, for your bitches, bro. You tripping. And I think, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I be so interested in that whole Drake and Kendrick situation, too. I was so interested in that shit as well. Is because, nigga, that nigga Drake, I think, nigga, you in a good space to have so much leverage and you get in a fucking rap battle. And this nigga call you a pedophile and them niggas allowed it. Nigga. Yeah, speaking of Diddy, did you see that they accused Stephanie So of being insensitive and racist for twirling and eating PBJ? For twirling? What you mean twirling and eating inside the courthouse? Outside the courtroom after his trial. She was twirling? And eating a PB&J sandwich? Why would the fuck she twirling? She like, yes! Content, nigga. Yes! Got this, nigga.
Uncrustable.
Bad.
Yo, but you gotta put the same kind of transmission in here, though, boss. You gotta put the same transmission in here.
That nigga said a badass uncrustable.
No, it ain't the same transmission, man. You don't make the same shit.
That nigga funny as hell. Bro, them is crazy, like. But I think them liquor companies, they banded together and they was like, bro, hell nah, bro, we not doing this shit. Let me see. Let's see what she talking about, because 4 hours ago, 2 hours, oh my god. Hey, but then, hey, look, bro, they had to escort Diddy out the classroom, out the courtroom. They had to do that because Diddy was like nodding at the fucking at the jury. And you're not supposed to do that. And I guess he was like, you know what I'm saying? Like nodding at them or some shit like that. I don't know. But it was crazy. Crazy dude.
Open it up and look at it. Yeah, open it up.
What are we watching? What do I have in here? Ooh, what the fuck? You say what? Bro. What the fuck? What was she doing twirling? She was twirling her hair or something? What the fuck? Diddy, they're coming after you too.
From the same corner? Yeah. Yeah, I get in trouble for that shit.
Bro, what the fuck? I gotta watch this. This whole seems crazy. Yeah, go. Yo, this seems crazy, bro. Y'all wanna watch this? I gotta watch that. I gotta watch this.
But also, while it's ongoing,
Bitch.
Bada bing, bada boom.
I gotta watch
I think
this.
the digital footprint associated with the Sean Combs case is massive. But also, while it's ongoing, there's new little tidbits, little nuggets that are being added to this massive collection of data on a daily basis. The Combs sons walk into the courtroom, and side note, I just thought this was kind of goofy, but Christian King Combs had Instagram storied, and it's him in the van with his brothers listening to music while they're headed to court. And which is already kind of a crazy thing, but that's okay. In the corner of this Instagram story, however, are the words, one word, early, and a bird emoji. Early bird. Okay, I don't know if he's trying to say early bird gets the worm. I don't know what he's early for because he was very late to court. They're pretty late to court almost every single day. So I don't know what the early bird is.
Wait, so they show up like in the middle?
Yeah, sometimes the witness is already testifying and they'll show up.
Oh.
So I'm not entirely sure what the bird was for, but nevertheless, nobody in the courtroom is thinking about that because there have just been too many crazy things. This feels like the least of everybody's worries. Another morning more recently, another disturbance takes place inside the courtroom. And I feel like I was telling you guys, a lot of strange things have been happening in the courthouse.
Oh
and
shit. We can get rid of the echo. My bad. We can get rid of the echo. No longer on the phone for best friends commentary. Boom, 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 boom.
This is just another one of them. Okay.
Oh. Hello. Ooh, going dead tooted. All right. Sick.
Okay, so every single day, Diddy has 4 U.S. Marshals that sit around him watching his every single move. Before he even gets into the courtroom, the Marshal that we've nicknamed Messi, because he is truly like the spitting image of Messi, the soccer player, he goes in and he sweeps his hand all through Diddy's chair. It's like one of those wooden, leather cushioned chairs with armrests, nothing special, but he will lift it up, scope it out under, he'll touch all the legs, he'll push on the cushion, he'll swipe the cushion with his hands on all sides. He's looking for hidden contraband, weapons, anything abnormal, and they never find anything, of course. But they've also never really put their hands on Diddy until that day. Sure, the Marshals, they might give him like a fist bump or two, depending on the mood that Diddy's in. Sometimes Diddy will even hand Messi a post-it note, and a few nods will be exchanged. I think he's probably asking for the bathroom or something. Diddy is escorted in on this particular day. The judge then comes out and sits on the bench. Everybody instinctively stands. Judge Arun, Father Arun, humble, he says, please be seated. I don't think he likes when people stand for him.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a thing that you have to do, and I think he's accepted it's part of the process, but he preferably doesn't like it.
Like it,
Is
with
that-
his energy? Okay.
He's always like, please be seated, unless you'd like to stand. Yeah, I think it's just very formal, and he just wants to get straight into business. So he's already into it. Let's start with GX10C 114. It's 8:30. Usually it's about 30 minutes before the jurors are escorted in. So the prosecutors and the defense, this is when they argue. This is like when the lawyer Olympics come out and they're arguing their case, they're pleading their case, and the judge is like, I'm sick of every single person in this room. When all of a sudden, as they're discussing all of this, you just hear screaming. It's not fair, Diddy! They're making fun of you in every courtroom. A woman is standing up and yelling from the last pew of the public section at everyone in the courtroom, the prosecutors, the defense, all the clerks in the bullpen. They rubberneck. They're like 180 degrees. They whip their neck around to the back of the gallery where the yelling is coming from. Everyone except Diddy's Marshals. They're on their feet, shot up out of their seats. They're putting their bodies between Diddy, who's also turned around in his chair staring at this woman, and they're just trying to block him. I don't think they're necessarily protecting him because Messi does have his hand on Diddy's shoulder. As in like, don't try to get up. Don't try to do anything. Like no swift movements. At this point, there are now 3 courtroom officers in uniform with badges, with bulletproof vests. All of them are retired NYPD. So the court officers, they wear like the bulletproof vests and everything. Officer Riz, yes.
Is Officer Riz?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, oh yeah. So the marshals, on the contrary, they're always in suits.
Oh.
They're in like fitted suits and they're pretty in shape, okay? Not that the court officers are not, but like they have different attire.
That's
and
so
I think
interesting.
I think the vests are a lot more intense for sure.
Right.
They're next to this woman, and when she first stood up and started yelling, I think Officer Riz, his main thing is everybody's here for a reason, and he tries to keep it as peaceful as possible. So I think that they could have been more forceful with her, but they're trying to de-escalate the situation with the least amount of resistance that is already being caused. With this woman, she is now upgraded to profanity. She has planted her feet in the middle aisle, and her body weight is leaning back away from the 3 officers who are trying to now grab at her because now she's escalating it. They were trying to be polite. They were trying to be like, okay, let's get out of the courtroom. Even a few journalists who were sitting close to her got up and moved because it's starting to feel a little dangerous, like a little stressful, especially because she starts screaming, take out your gun, take out your gun.
Wait, so she went straight from, what did she say beginning?
She said they're making fun of you, this is unfair.
To Diddy, right?
Yeah.
And he goes straight to take out your gun?
Yeah. The marshal has a hand on Diddy's shoulder just to make sure nothing happens. She's yelling this at the uniformed officers that are now like, okay, we should probably escalate. Judge ioooonn, who has never once addressed the gallery, like never. Okay, so defense attorneys, sometimes they'll walk in, they'll scan over the pews, see who's all here. Sometimes they'll even make small talk, like they'll open the bathroom door for you, and they're kind. The prosecutors, same thing. Judge ioooonn, like we don't exist to him at all.
Really?
Anyone that's not the attorney, the defendants, or the jurors, or the witnesses.
Yo. Some shit happened.
Trying to get the business clear with these niggas, man. Shit, play on me. It's hot now.
Trying to get the business clear.
Real clean.
Towards Spring Valley Road.
Fuck. Like a nigga tight, boy. I'm telling you.
Fool. We're watching this long ass video. Well, basically, it's a woman that I'm into it right now, but it's a woman. She came into the courtroom, bro, screaming, Diddy, they coming for you, or some shit like that.
She said, Diddy, they coming for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, holy.
Wicked work.
Like her ass up too, but she's playing. She got the thing. Let me get about her in here. Appreciate that, guys. Yeah, man. Nah, yeah, send me this way. That's what I do. He was out here fucking bullshit with me. I ain't like that. Like, you seen the pictures I sent you?
Oh, shit, let me see. I fucking having a great hair day today, bro. Hell no. I'm like, God damn, I shit can't get. There we go. She. You had to get that shit out of there?
And the one in that box, the one in that black box,
Yeah.
that's the one I was dropping out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they trying to send a cord back. So a cord, you know what it is. Like, you take a battery somewhere, buy a battery, they say you bring the whole battery back so you get a discount.
Yeah.
Nigga trying to put that other transmission in the box, tell me to take that. Hey, bro, you ain't the same goddamn transmission. The fuck? Okay. Like, you took the battery out your optimal. Nigga, you can't come up there and be like, with some AAA battery or something like, yeah, this the battery I was running off. Some motherfucking ass about her, that bullshit.
Had to get the business clear.
Bro, I thought I said, hey, fam, it's hot. I ain't finna sit out here too much longer, bro, playing. Fuck, you got that right core, and just pay for the 2 or 3, bro. Brother. Fuck. I had to pick outside, man. Good.
You over here trying to get discounts over some bullshit. Man. What y'all,
I
man?
know being funny and shit, nigga. It's ain't time for that shit, dog. Yeah, it's not the same, it's the same. Bro, you know they ain't the goddamn same shit, bro. Stop doing that, bro. Stop doing that.
And all right, let's get back to it. Hold on, let's get back to it. Let's see something in here. Wait a minute, I need to stop doing that shit. Oh, that shit was already over. Goof ass nigga, throw down. Ooh. All right, let's get back into it. Hey, for this video long as hell, so I don't even know if you want to sit here and listen to that shit.
Yeah, you already go there, bro. I ain't been.
I don't even know if I want to do that.
Says we do not exist.
Right, let's do
I
it.
mean, he'll talk to the court staff, he'll talk to the court officers and the U.S. Marshals, but everybody else, the public, the press, Diddy's friends and family, we don't exist. There has never even been a look over the pews. There has been nothing. This is the very first time. He looks into the gallery, past everybody. Please escort her out of the courtroom now. and his voice is clear, it is firm, there is no panic, there's nothing. He's like actually staring daggers at the gallery. He's like staring at this woman. Like, you guys need to get this woman out of my courtroom. So the officers escort her out, and then Judge Ioooonn instantly goes back to business.
That's it. And she walked out.
She walked out. She did a few interviews outside. It appears that in the interview, she's saying that it's unfair that they are smearing a black man's legacy and that they're doing this. And she's saying he's perfection. Diddy is perfection. This is a black man's legacy that people are laughing at.
Diddy, everyone laughs in every courtroom in here. I don't think it's funny for people to laugh at a black man legacy being destroyed. Black American legacy figures, father figures, extraordinary excellency, black excellence. Sean John Combs is inspirational. He is perfection walking.
It appears that she was perhaps in the overflow rooms for the whole trial. This is the first time we've seen her in the actual courtroom, but I have seen her since like the first day. I'm sure in the overflow rooms, they're making more comments. Because the overflow rooms, it's a TV, it's a screen, there's no judge. They have court officers in there, but it's not disruptive. If you talk in there, the jurors don't hear it. It's not as intense in terms of court rules. So I have heard from other members of the press, like sometimes they prefer the overflow rooms because if they can't hear something, they can literally, hey, did you get what they just said? Whereas in the main courtroom, you cannot speak. So I've heard some of that. So maybe she's heard people giggling in the overflow rooms. Maybe they have been making comments about the defendant. I'm not entirely sure, but she's saying that they're making fun of you. They're smearing a black man's legacy. Now, these have now gone viral on TikTok, these little interviews, and people are commenting, it's not about race. Some people are saying, oh, okay, so he's perfection, but like, what about SA? What about domestic violence? Side note, there is a sketch about her. The sketch artist, like instantly as this is happening, you just hear like frantic, you know how I tell you when they get really excited, it's like, shh, you just hear the noise of the sketch. Yeah, they sketched her. Now, I will say, when she was in the main courtroom, she had a scarf around her head, not for religious reasons, but because she's actually not allowed in the courtroom, apparently. She was trying to conceal her identity and made it to the 26th floor into the courtroom. And now Diddy was all the way leaned to the side. His family has not arrived yet, and he just seemed intrigued by this woman. And so were we, because we saw this woman on the very first day. Like, this is during jury selection, and I recall this. We see her outside of the courthouse as we're lining up to go into jury selection days to get into the courthouse, and she is wearing a uniform. It's an MTA uniform for the transit system in New York. Another reporter starts talking to her and asking her questions about, like, what are you doing here? Because you're not part of the press, so, like, what made you want to spend your day in the courthouse listening to this specific case? And it's jury selection. Like, we're not even in opening statements. Like, what's the reason? Like, you must have a very strong reason. Do you know anyone that's involved in the case? And she was explaining that she also had very tough life experiences, and she can relate to some of the people in this case. And she's hinting at the fact that she has maybe perhaps lived through domestic violence. And so I actually thought it was this moment of, oh wow, this is a very interesting moment where people are coming out, not even because they know the people or the victims involved or the witnesses involved, they support people who have gone through similar things. Because yes, he's innocent until proven guilty. However, the domestic violence, it's on video. It's pretty hard to say anything, right? I thought she was here to support the victims and take a stance against domestic violence. And then I didn't see her around. I mean, I kind of saw her here and there, but like the feeling was the very first day I heard her share her story, like it was that feeling consistently. And then as the weeks go by, recently, a few days ago, she was causing a bit of a ruckus outside on the line. So when we got separated into public and press, all I heard was something about YouTubers and Gene Deal, because there's a lot of content creators in the public side, and so she's mainly interacting with them, and I think she was like getting into a fight with a content creator. I'm not entirely sure. I tried to stay out of it. I literally went, oh, and then I looked away because I'm like, okay, I need to stay in my own lane.
And you said there's always something going on.
There's always a fight. There's always a fight, and
Sometimes multiple fights going on at the same time.
Yeah, I will say, like, to the people in the public line that are standing in that line just so that they can get the good coverage, so that they can get in the courtroom without any problems, I have so much respect for them, because that public line, I saw a comment that was like, it's like the Fortnite lobby. It feels like that. I mean, the main line feels like that, but then once they split it up into public and press, it's like usually a lot of commotion in the public line, and so people who are going through the public line just to be able to sit in on this trial, I don't know how they're doing it. It's so intense. There's always a fight. I don't know what happened, because the first few times I've seen her, she seemed so pleasant, and then all of a sudden, it's just very different. I'm just very confused.
Yeah.
And so all the press and the public, they want to know, does Diddy know her? Because there have been rumors swirling around that perhaps Diddy is, I mean, these are some darker rumors, that perhaps Diddy is trying to buy witnesses, buy jurors, maybe even buy Diddy supporters to infiltrate not only the public, but also maybe the press. So there's been all these rumors swirling around. I don't know what he would get out of this incident, though.
Yeah, so you don't know if Diddy was involved.
If I had to take like my most cynical, because I mean, I do enjoy being conspiratorial at times, but like if I had to be the most reasonable, I don't think that he played any role in this. But I do think this trial is bringing out a lot of interesting people. And I'm just so confused. The only thing that confuses me and a few other members of the press is her attitude shift throughout the weeks is so drastic. we're just confused by it. What are your thoughts? To thank today's sponsors who have made it possible. And to thank you, say, you the team court trial. He takes to the stand and literally make Jordan just wants one day determine guilt or through researchers who are Mr. Combs at the time of. You guys know the drill. Sean Combs is presumed innocent until proven guilty, and that has yet to occur at the time of this episode's release. So the burden of proof lies within the government. Any descriptions or observations regarding Mr. Combs' legal team, the court, and or the public during the trial were personally noted by myself or my other two researchers who are present in the main courtroom. They should not be used as definitive source to determine guilt or innocence. So with that being said, let's get started. I think Michael B. Jordan just wants one day without reading about him being mentioned in Sean Combs' criminal trial. I think that would literally make Michael B. Jordan's entire week. Cassie's best friend and former stylist, he takes to the stand, and he is asked about Michael B. Jordan by Diddy's attorney, Xavier Donaldson. Because remember, while Cassie was in South Africa shooting a movie, she starts talking to Michael B. Jordan, and because of that, his name has come up so many times during the entirety of this trial, and it's still ongoing. Donaldson asks Cassie's best friend, Cassie was in South Africa, right? Correct. What was she doing in South Africa? Shooting a movie? And she was shooting this movie as she was still signed to Bad Boy, correct? Correct. And what was the movie? Honey? And so as an artist signed with Bad Boy, she was not only doing music, but she was also getting movie deals, correct? She was able to do that sometimes. And it just seems like a very roundabout conversation. So, I mean, I guess, right? I'm asking yes or no. Was she able to do movies while she was an artist signed with Bad Boy? Sometimes, yes. In 2015, this is one of those times that she was allowed to do a movie, correct? Correct. And in order for her to be allowed to do that movie, Mr. Combs, as the owner of Bad Boy, had to sign off on that, correct? Correct. So to button that, Mr. Combs signed off on a contract to allow Cassie to do a movie, correct? Correct. Mr. Donaldson, the witness is saying, Mr. Donaldson, asking a question. Donaldson is now responding. Yes, sir. Can you just drive it home? Because yes, I did hook her up with Michael B. Jordan. I know where this is going. No. And it feels like the two of them just start bickering.
Wait,
in front of
no.
the witness.
Oh.
He's like, no. While the entire courtroom is watching and wondering what the hell is happening right now. So Mr. Nash, you hooked her up with Michael B. Jordan, right? Indeed. He's fine. She's fine. I mean, why not? Some of the jurors start smirking. Others are turning to each other and they're mouthing, whew. Like they're literally doing that with their mouth. Even Brian Steele is sitting there giggling with this goofy Boy Scout grin, as they say. That's how they describe his smile. The only person not amused in the entirety of this is Sean Combs, because he is not having a good day. First of all, Cassie's best friend is very likable on the stand. He's won the jurors over. Everybody's giggling nonstop in the courtroom during his testimony. He is just laying it down. He's not getting bullied by the defense.
This is Deontay, right?
Yeah, Deontay Nash. And on top of that, Sean Combs' move for a mistrial was just denied prior to all of this. Alexandra Shapiro is a very interesting attorney on Sean Combs' defense team. She was a clerk for Justice Ginsburg, similar to Judge Arun, but not at the same time. Like I've mentioned, I don't think their paths have ever crossed. She was a prosecutor for the U.S. Attorney's Office in SDNY, the same district that they're in right now, fighting for Sean Combs. She's worked in the criminal division for 5 years. Then she went on to join an international law firm to work on white-collar crime. She low-key loves defending an alleged insider trader. And I say that with fear coursing through my bones because these are very serious people who would probably eat me for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So the reason that she's on Sean Combs' team, though, is very interesting. She's actually known for her work in appeals. That's her main focus. She's even said in an interview, I usually get retained after somebody else lost the trial, but I do sometimes get involved at the trial level as well. She basically states it is critical if a client has the resources, aka just money, if they have the money to have someone with appellate experience during the trial. She states, quote, one of the most frustrating things for me as an appellate lawyer is to find that something important wasn't preserved during the trial. It's totally understandable because trial lawyers are in the heat of the battle and focused on contesting the government's account of the facts. Which means her being added to this defense team, being present during the entirety of the trial, she's probably there just to focus on procedural compliance and the application of the law as a whole. I don't even think she's there for the fact-finding of the actual case or jury persuasion, like the other trial attorneys. I mean, that might change as the trial ramps up, but I highly doubt it. It seems like she is here to make sure that the trial is running to the letter of the law. And if it's not running to the letter of the law in a way that benefits their client, then they need to swiftly take care of it. Of course, all in favor for Sean Combs. She's not the judge. It's not like she's there just for the pure idea of making sure each trial is just and fair, legally speaking. She's there to make sure absolutely everything is in legal compliance so that if there is a verdict that is perhaps unfavorable, it is likely that she will start on the appeal, if not already, because who knows? So usually attorneys that focus on appeals, they really only enter the conversation after the verdict. But when you have that much money, hundreds of millions of dollars at your disposal, I mean, why not get her started right now? Basically, Alexandra Shapiro is there to consider all of these things, which is likely why we don't see her doing cross-examinations. Her husband did come in and do a cross-examination.
He was recently retained.
Yes, and he recently did a cross-examination of Dr. Hughes, which is, she's a forensic psychologist, and I will say, nothing that notable came out of the actual testimony itself. The defense kept trying to get the whole testimony thrown out. The judge did not go for that. However, the cross-examination by Alexandra Shapiro's husband was very intense. He was kind of aggressive. Well, kind of is nice. He was very aggressive. Very aggressive.
It's like over-aggressive or what?
Yeah, it's kind of, like, I think it's similar to when Tenny Garagos does a lot of the crosses on law enforcement. I think we get why there's aggression, and we get why the defense, not the defendant, the defense team might be frustrated because as attorneys, they have to protect their clients. And they're thinking, this is overkill. You did too much on this. This is not maybe to the way that we've seen it before. I can get that there's passion that can come off as aggressive, but to someone sitting in the courtroom, it just feels like, why are we mad at people for just doing their jobs? Like, they don't even know your client like that. It's not personal. Why are you getting so angry? It just feels like, are we just angry at the world right now? Like, it's maybe not the best thing to show the jurors, is my opinion. Now, Alexandra Shapiro has not done a cross, and she always looks incredibly stressed. Like, she looks more overworked than anybody else on that team. If I have to guess, and I thought about this all the time, because I have had a few bathroom run-ins with her, where we're just like standing next to each other, washing our hands in the sink, and it's very uncomfortable. But, I mean, I'm sure she's obviously a very, very talented person, and very scary in a good way. She knows what she's doing, but she seems incredibly stressed all the time. She's not a small talker, and so the feeling that we get is that she seems like, she specializes in appeals. She has great attention to detail. Most attorneys that specialize in appeals do. I feel like she's the type that likes everything perfect. She likes her T's crossed, her I's dotted, and now there's so many hands in the pie. She just seems very wound up. I'm setting the scene because you kind of have a boys club with Brian Steele, Xavier Donaldson, Diddy, and sometimes filibuster Mark Agnifilo will join the boys club. And then the other attorneys just do their own thing, and she just sits at that same table like, can we just please get it together? Like, that's her vibe. Can you guys not be giggle-gaggling right now when there is very serious problems that we have to address? That's her energy.
See, I do find this very interesting. When you throw like 7, 8 top lawyers together on a case, that dynamic must be crazy.
Yeah, so Mark and Tenny are the leads. They seem the most stressed out because they're overseeing probably all the other attorneys, okay? Penny is probably a little more stressed, perhaps from her pregnancy, and also perhaps because she's the one handling most of the evidence, it seems. So lots of back-end stuff. Mark seems more like front-end. I have no clue. I don't know if this is true. Alexandra Shapiro, she seems very stressed. Brian Steele, Xavier Donaldson, Nicole Westmoreland, and Anna Esteveo, they do this thing where if they are doing a cross-examination that day, it's like the most stressful I've ever seen them. And then the next day when they're not doing any cross-examinations, they're giggle-gaggling. Brian Steele's falling asleep. Brian Steele will watch another defense attorney on his team make a mistake, and he'll just be like, why'd you do that? I wouldn't have done that if I were you. Because I guess when you're the leads, you're in charge. Whereas they have their very specific roles, and I'm sure they work really hard at their very specific roles. But it's very interesting. But Alexandra Shapiro, perhaps she's overseeing the whole thing. She seems very stressed. Now, regardless, she stands up, reaches for the microphone. The jurors are out of the room.
When was this?
This was like
midday?
Midday.
Oh, okay.
Jurors are out of the room. She's in front of the gallery, like the gallery. We're all sitting there. And she states, Your Honor, respectfully, we are going to move for a mistrial at this time, based on the prosecutorial misconduct that went into this. A mistrial, which means forget everything that just happened and let's do it all over again from the beginning with new jurors, new jury selection, new everything.
And this is like weeks into it, right?
Yeah, this is weeks.
Because they getting shit on? Am I missing something here? Am I dumb? Wait, just real quick. Real quick. Where the fuck did it go? Wait. Oh, 3 days ago.
Silencing other employees, paying people off, all these different things. So now,
No, not good. This is not. Yeah. Here we go. Perfected.
When asked what happened in May of 2021, she bows her head and becomes emotional. Quote unquote, we will watch a lot of adult films and we started having a lot more fantasy conversations. Diddy started to talk.
Like, listening to this whole video, when listen to the victim testifying and all of that stuff, it really just makes it seem like they're just getting shit on and it's not like good for them.
When asked what
Oops, not that.
Silencing other employees, paying people off, all these different things.
Yeah.
So now her name is being referenced. Really important. Yesterday, they had the cross-examination of Mia, who was the second victim, and she was the one who's testifying to the fact that Combs forced her to, snort things, be birthday a bunch of times. She sent him a bunch of strange messages showing like affection, love, a lot of things that just made her seem incredibly
willing.
Not credible. That's the best way I could put it. So the defense does a pretty great job on
in and probably millions of taxpayer dollars in, which is great for the defense because that means that to a degree, the defense knew what they were getting into before the trial. Like, they kind of have an idea based off the charges, based off of things in discovery, like where the prosecutors are going to lead it. But now they have a really good idea of like the valuable evidence the prosecutors have, the key points, the key witnesses that they're bringing in. But now they can spend a lot of time to exploit all the flaws in any of their evidence and any of their arguments for the retrial. I mean, this is their dream. Like, what in the hell would even cause them to try and move for a mistrial, though? You can't just say it because it's not going well for you. Like, you can't just be like, you know what, Judge, I just kind of maybe want to start over. Like, can we do a do-over?
Can we redo?
Yeah, let me take it from the top again. Like, you can't do that. Something has to happen. And it is because of one of the most unexpected witnesses that takes the stand. Could you provide the court your first and last name and spell your first and last name? Lance Jimenez, Lancejimennez. Good morning. And who is your employer? The City of Los Angeles Fire Department. Lance Jimenez is an arson investigator for the LAFD, and he describes his job as, and this is literally what the mistrial is based off of. We're basically detectives for the fire department. We work hand in hand with LAPD to work on the crime of arson, which is intentionally setting felony crimes. He's been doing this for the past 14 years. He's investigated well over.
That's a long video, but I think he's just getting cooked. I think he's just getting chopped.
Yeah, she's done.
Why would you do that? I would never do something like that. I would just leave.
It's called integrity.
Maybe I don't have that.
So the kid stole something while doing the store. He found out, so he made her go back inside and pay, and then the mom records him. He's like, why?
Yeah, you teach your kids a lesson. You're mad because his father's being a father to the kid? That's crazy to me. Do you even hear yourself? Whenever you said that shit out loud and you recorded it and you posted it, you didn't hear yourself when you said that crazy shit?
Mm-hmm.
And he said the best answer that could have been said. It's called integrity. You're lucky I'm not whooping that little bitch's ass.
I mean, you don't have to go that far.
I don't have to, but I mean, I know damn well I would have get a beating. If it was me stealing shit, my parents noticed that, my mom or my dad would have caught me stealing some things.
Yeah, but why is it wrong?
You just don't steal shit. Buy it.
Okay, but why?
Why what?
Why is it wrong to steal?
I don't know. I just got beat. I didn't get that.
But that's my point.
I didn't get the...
That's my point. The issue I have with the whole meeting is there's no explanation. It's just fear.
You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like that's the right thing to do. I said what he did is the right thing to do.
Okay.
I would have got a beating on top of that. But what he did was perfect. And his answer to mom was the best as well. It's called integrity. You stole some shit. That's not right. You pay for it.
Yeah. Some people don't have that internal voice where when your actions conflict with your values, it eats at you. So, for example, me as a kid, I never stole and never thought about stealing because to me, whether I got caught or not, I'd feel horrible. Why? Because the values that were instilled in me were don't steal, and if you do, it's considered an incredibly bad thing. That was like my parents really pushed that on me. So for me, it was very easy not to steal, no matter what happened, because it was just one of these situations where I'd feel horrible. The issue with some people is that they don't either have that voice or they haven't instilled those values, so they don't feel that guilt. Ideally, you teach them that. Why? Because beyond just the fear of a beating, all that means is, well, when my dad can't beat me, or if I'm really far away from that punishment, I'll just do what I want anyways. You know what I'm saying? But if you have that value in you, it doesn't matter where you go, You just never gonna engage in that behavior.
I stole once.
Oh, there you go.
When I was a kid.
Talk that talk.
I stole.
I know what happened. Somebody got on the intercom. Take that, take that, take that.
No, not even. My parents didn't catch me. But the feeling that I was feeling inside was even worse.
Good.
Because I can't play with that shit. Because if I play with that shit, my parents are going to see them and be like, I didn't buy you that toy. Where'd you get that from? I got to lie on top of that.
So you're still afraid that you're going to get caught. That's what it sounds like.
It's not even that. It's that I got to explain myself, that I got to tell myself I stole. And what was crazy would be I knew my parents. It was not even the beating. Yes, a beating, of course. But it was because I know my parents. At that age, I knew my parents came to this country and gave me everything I needed. Why the fuck do I need to steal for? So now my parents are gonna be like, so what? I don't give you all.
Nah.
This is called retrospect. Basically, I'm going to take a look at a take I had in regards to the whole Destiny situation. I'm going to analyze it, and maybe I was wrong. You guys let me know. And one thing he said, I think he said something like, you know, that was me a couple years back. I'm on Vyvanse now, which Vyvanse I think is like some kind of drug, ADHD, I don't know. He's like, I'm on Vyvanse now. I'm really just focused on political stuff. I want to stay away from the drama. It's like, I didn't realize they made a, you know, finding God moment for druggies. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how some people do a bunch of fuck shit for their whole life, and all of a sudden they go to church once and they're like, I found God. Like it absolves all the bullshit that they've just done. I don't know. It was such a weird way. Like when you're being said that you're doing a bunch of foul shit and you've hurt a bunch of people, and like mentioning the fact that you're on Vyvanse and you're a changed person. It's just like, I don't know. Something about it just seemed off to me. All right, pause. Okay. Watching myself talk is always funny because half the time I'm like, you shut the fuck up. And it's interesting to watch it now because I was just yapping, right? I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. Actually, when this video came out, somebody I knew contacted me and she was like, Abba, I saw the video, it was fine, but the whole portion that you did in regards to Vyvanse and ADHD, I think you should look into it. And I was like, what are you yapping about? So I go to look into it, and the funniest thing happens. I start reading this shit off, and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know ADHD was all, because we all have this preconception of what ADHD is, which is, pretty, you might agree, essentially it's like, you just can't focus for more than 2 minutes.
It's more than that, but what?
But it is more than that. I'm saying that's a general perception. Yeah. Anyone watching, you let me know, that's probably how we receive when we hear about ADHD. I start reading this stuff, and then I talk to her about it, and she's like, well, you know, there's this and that symptom, all this other stuff, and I was like, okay. And as I'm sitting there thinking about it, I'm like, wait.
Real recognize real. You look a little bit familiar.
Yeah. You know that Spider-Man meme where the motherfuckers stand, it's like, and then they're staring at each other? I was like, damn, a lot of these symptoms actually sound like stuff I went through. So I was like, fuck it. And she's like, you know what, if you really feel strongly about this, why don't you go talk to your doctor? So I called my clinician. I'm like, hey, can we get an appointment? He's like, sure, we'll have this conversation. He runs me through all the tests. They give you a bunch of charts. You have to have people around you answer the questions on the charts. And then I go to sit in for the results. So he sits down and he's like, so how do you feel? I'm like, same as before I did this test. It takes a couple weeks. He's like, cool. And he's like, so based off the readings, you have ADHD. And I was like, okay, word. And then I'm like, so what are we talking about here? He's like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, like, give me a scale. Like on a scale of like, it's a minor problem to like, I'm a train wreck. Like, where would you put me? He's like, I give you an 8 out of 10. I was like, no, I need like a metaphor. He's like, an 8 out of 10. I was like, okay. And then as we're talking about my childhood and everything, I was like, oh, that's why like I was always falling asleep in class. I could never focus. One of the reasons I ended up not going to university or college is because I'm like this, like I lose my mind being in a classroom and just, I can't focus at all. And then I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then, oh, that incident here. And then he also talked about different symptoms, like how it can manifest. I was like, what would that look like? He's like, hypersexuality would be one indication. I was like, oh, wow. And he's like, yes, you might engage in a lot of impulsive behavior, right? And it's not even necessarily that you enjoy doing these things. There's an impulsivity that you can't help. I was like, okay, cool. So I'm like, how do we fix this? And he goes, well, there's medication. I was like, well, tell me more. He's like, Vyvanse. And I was like, wait, I know about this drug. So I'm like, fine, you know what, let me test it out. I mean, I like drugs, all kinds, legal, illegal, don't matter. So I take the pills, I go home, he gives me different dosages. He goes 20, 30, 40, 50, start at the lowest. So I take the 50. And let me tell you, listen to your doctor.
This nigga's a retard. That's what.
And I will tell you, it was the most insane day of my life. It's like the best way I could describe it. The first time I took Vyvanse was, it's like your brain is in a room. The lights are always on, and then you take the medication and the lights turn off, and you're like, oh, this is what darkness is like. Like your brain just functions one way, and then you take this stuff and you're like, who am I underneath this this disorder? But I started taking the medication kind of regularly, and I'll be honest with you, it's probably been one of the most life-changing experiences. I think that's like top 3 for me. And it's been making me reassess a lot of things, because a lot of things that I just thought were part of my personality or part of who I was actually more so linked to the disorder itself. And I'm not saying the disorder is necessarily something completely separate from me, but the behavioral changes that came afterwards were so drastic that it made me reassess a lot of things. And I realized there is a world where you are hypersexual and you are being very impulsive and making really stupid fucking decisions. And it's just because you're not medicated. Does this absolve the person necessarily? No, not that's not what I'm saying yet. If someone is dealing with something that they're not treating and they're engaging in bad behavior, it's possible that because it's untreated, that's really like the core aspect. But ADHD is a real thing. It is a bitch. And I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about when I said all that shit. So I should just own it. See? All right? And I think, I appreciate the claps, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing. Okay. But I wanted to say this just because over the course of 10 years of doing videos on YouTube, there's been a lot of takes or opinions that have shifted for me over time. And as you learn, you grow, you learn, you try to reassess, but it's very rare that we have a chance to go backwards and reassess these things. And for anyone who might be discovering that video today, I hope that at least this video kind of serves as like a middle ground to say like, hey, I thought of this then, with more information, this is where I'm at now, and I want to present that to you guys. It's even like weirder for me because I am a functional adult. Like I have my own place, I clean I wash my ass, I do my homework, you know what I mean? I do my, I have a job and
Thanks for
I
being
work hard.
functional, dude.
Yeah, I do. I wash my ass. But with that in mind, there's a lot of inefficiencies in my day-to-day life. Like there's like this crippling procrastination, but it's like the dumbest fucking shit. Like very basic stuff that's easy to do will take me a long time to get it done. And then other things I could just spend 10 hours editing. And it's just like, why could I not just send this fucking email? Because like I'll tell you one of the most crippling things. I'll see an email, I'll look at it, and I'm like, all I have to say is like, thanks, I'll reply. And I just can't do it. Yeah. I just can't do it. And I just put it off, and it just causes all these extra problems for me. I'm like, why is this a problem? And I think with that, I was like, okay, now it's no longer an issue. It's like, this was causing a lot of that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm not actually, this isn't a part of my personality of who I am. This is a side effect of something that many people in the world have. And it doesn't mean that you're dumb or something's wrong with you. It just means that you particularly need to be lit up by something to give it 10 hours of your focus. But if you give it and you're lit up, it's going to be the best 10 hours of your life. If something doesn't interest you, don't even look my way.
Right. But the problem with that is you can't go through life only doing the things you're interested in. Exactly. And I think I realized this with my relationships. Not even just talking about like romantic, I'm just talking about even like familial or friendships. The biggest downside of this thing was like, I was not doing the labor that's necessary to maintain those relationships. So whether it being the replying in a timely fashion, making the effort to reach out, I find phone shit super tedious. Like showing up for my friends in person, easy. But like a lot of the trying to keep in contact, the sending thanks, the sending well wishes, like that was impossible for me.
Yeah, me too.
Right?
I feel that.
And now with this, like I can reply to my mom very quickly, and like it seems so small, but that minor label that you're able to do on a regular basis has such an impact on the relationship dynamic. And for me, I think it makes it much easier for me to be present for the people around me. It makes it a lot easier for me to be even present for myself, to do the things that I have to do in the little ways in the day-to-day. So that's
when I think of this, it really makes me want to just go get a doc myself. 1 second, chat.
Come on away, nigga.
That's why I say it's been life-changing. Yeah. Because I just thought like, oh, like you're supposed to be like this because it's what comes natural. not recognizing there's an underlying problem that I haven't dealt with. That's like literally,
It really makes me want to go get a doc, and I think I am going to go get one. I'm gonna go see one soon. It's this video strikes home more than people may believe. What the fuck am I doing? Oh my god, he's about to drive an hour. Well, 50 minutes. Okay. Well, yeah, man. Like, it really makes me look at it because I have certain things like that he hit a nail on, and it was like responding to my mom or reaching out for keeping in touch with certain family members and or doing like certain little things that I have to go do like these mundane ass tasks, and I know I need to do and I just don't do it. It's just weird procrastination, zoning out in conversations, allowing my mind to wander, and doing all this stuff. It makes me like I always say, being uncomfortable makes you grow because you're doing that, like he alluded to, or just said, you do the work, you are doing the work that that makes you better, and that's the one that you're kind of not doing and getting away from, and then, but so doing the same thing over and over again and trying to expect to change is kind of hard to do on your own without getting the proper diagnoses or whatever, getting the proper help. So I ain't gonna lie, G. This a get one guy. This a get one. Get one.
It felt like it was part of me, and I didn't realize that it is, but it's also separate to some degree, and it's fixable. So.
But for so many years, how long did you just feel like that was a part of your personality?
I didn't even think it was like part of my personality. I just thought it was me, like, because I didn't even know what ADHD was. So when you're undiagnosed, like not a thing. So for me, it wasn't even a thing. It's just me, right?
Yeah, this is just who I am.
That's it.
Yeah,
and it's interesting now because you start to like retrospectively look at every relationship dynamic. You're like, oh, I could have done that differently, consistently, and I could have spoken to these people differently, family, and that's a whole set of like, it's almost like mourning.
Yeah.
Because I didn't, okay, so this is the two things that I'm thinking of when I'm going through this. Is the ADHD me, or is who I am after I take the meds me? And based off of that answer, I look back at everything in my life and say, if the new me was there, how much different would I have been? How much different would those relationship dynamics have been? And then I go through that mourning process because it's like, I didn't get to be present for certain people. I didn't get to show up to certain events. I didn't get to make them feel special or vice versa, or I didn't do the labor I needed to have certain opportunities. So you're just like, oh, there's this whole other life I think I would have lived because I'm already living a completely different life than how I was living now that I've taken the meds. Don't do what I did. I was definitely really stupid because like that shit hit me like brick, bro. I had physical symptoms that was crazy. I was buzzing for 2 days. I didn't sleep. I had like muscle cramps everywhere.
You know what they say,
I was like,
man?
and then now I'm on the right dose. I was like, I'm chilling.
Play retard games, get retard prizes. That's what it is, bro.
Yo, so I took the 50 and I went on a date. First
No,
date.
you're stupid.
God, crazy. I was sitting in that restaurant just buzzing, bro.
And you were actually listening to her?
She's like, you know what she said? You know what she said? She's like, damn, that's crazy. Like, you replied quickly for the first time. I was like, yeah. I'll show up. And she was like, you just seem different. I was asking her questions and shit. I was paying attention. She's like, oh, she felt really seen and stuff. I never went on a second date, but it was a great first date. And we talked about like when you're interested in something, it's very easy to do. But from a work standpoint, there's a lot of things that you sometimes have to do that's just not fun to do. And the delays in that kind of throw everything off. So even like making this podcast happen or making this live show happen, it's much easier now to get all the little details done in place now that I'm taking this stuff, because of the fact that I don't have this mental delay where it's just like incredible labor to like reply to an email or contact people, organize. And I'm really happy that we're doing this because for me, it gives me an opportunity to like really flesh out ideas, to really go and like put effort into the preparation for large scale projects. I think when you're on ADHD, the easiest thing to do is to show up for things you're interested in. But sometimes doing the labor of things that are not as fun for the stuff you're interested in, that's hard. So for example, we're doing stand-up, writing. Writing can be really hard, but doing stand-up is the easiest thing. Why? Because there's stimulation, you're up on stage, there's bright lights, there's an audience. But the actual writing process, which is so important for improving, that's a lot harder. So, you know, for me, it's like in this line of work, I don't think I have a choice but to kind of take it because if I don't, then I'm going to always stagnate. I think recently I wrote like a 10-page document for a video we were about to do. I did research on laws, legal matters, everything in terms of statutes and clause. And I was like, well, I can actually do the necessary work so that when we come to do the video, I'm much more informed. So I don't know, for me, it's been changing even from a work standpoint.
Do you feel like it's also giving you a new sense of confidence and integrity? Just being able to be like, oh, I can do this. I can sit down for 10 hours and organize myself. And maybe that anxiety that's underlying with a lot of ADHD and people who have ADHD, do you find that kind of having this new avenue in your life where you're like, I wrote a 10-page document, which is maybe something I didn't feel like I could do in high school. Do you find yourself having a different type of confidence now?
It just keeps getting better somehow. I didn't know that it could, but it can. Apparently, Kash Patel was sitting with Joe Rogan as the bomb drop happened from Elon's account. And Kash Patel, who is the FBI director and would be in the know about the Epstein stuff, has to be told on the air that this is going down. This is a rare instance. I haven't even watched this clip yet. We're going to share the moment together. What was Kash Patel's response to learning about this in real time yesterday on Rogan's podcast?
Talking about fake news. This is going to come up because it's been going on since we've been recording here. Elon and Trump seem to be in a bit of a spat, Joe. You want to check the tweet that Elon just put out a little bit ago?
Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day. Jesus Christ.
I'm not participating in any of that conversation between Elon
Have a nice day, DJD. Someone should take his phone away.
They're going back and forth about different things. And
Listen, well, he said he was disappointed in Elon.
Yeah, they told him to leave.
Jesus Christ, that's a crazy thing to say. How does he know? Does he know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files? Or does he have access to the Epstein files?
I don't know how he would, but I'm just staying out of the Trump-Elon thing. That's way outside my lane.
What the fuck are they doing?
I know my lane, and that ain't it.
I just don't. I mean,
that's exactly your lane. It's a one-way road, and you're on it, Bobby. Steer ahead, Cash. Come on, baby.
The Joe. The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by...
Jesus Christ. Will I get booted and tooted? Pause. For, excuse me, watching Rogan, dude? Would Joe Rogan copyright strike a small creator, bro? That's a BRB. I haven't watched a Rogan episode in ages. So we're gonna see, dude. We're gonna see if Rogan is still shilling out for the fucking right, bro. We're gonna see, dude. Is he still shilling out? Ah, bro, I hope. I don't know what happened. Rogan, if somebody's ever like watching this, or like Jamie or anybody a part of this fucking team, I'm a fan of Rogan. I just I wish bro didn't endorse bro. Not because I'm not a Republican or Democrat. I don't know too much about politics. I just want to know what's going on. You know what I mean? I don't know too much. But I understand that the left is kind of wrong with the whole, COVID thing and with the filter and all that stuff, calling you a racy, facey boy and all that bad shit. I don't think you're a racist, but I think I didn't watch enough fucking what's the word I'm looking for? I didn't watch enough content of yours for years, bro. So like, I don't get the vibe that you're a race. You could be a race, but I don't get the vibe that you're a race. That you're a racist, dude. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't like how you have you have a lot of, what's what I'm looking for? You have a lot of, oh shit. You have a lot of words for the left, but when Trump makes a mistake or does something kind of stupid, Rogan, you don't say nothing. But anybody else makes something, you know what I'm saying? I understand they probably like cooking you, you know what I'm saying? Not cooking you, but they probably like, serving you up a little bit, whoop de whoop, but like, come on, bro. You know? And let's see.
All day.
All right, what's going on, man?
How you doing, Joe?
Very good to see you, sir.
Thanks for having me in Austin.
What is it like to be the head of the FBI? How weird is that?
It's completely effing wild. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it.
What was it? What did you think it was going to be like, and what was different once you got in there?
I thought that.
How are you struggling on a softball question, bro? This is how you know this is gonna be some dick-eating ass fucking podcast, bro. Like, oh my god, bro. Bro, I don't. Come on, bro. Please, bro. Just get it together.
We were going to be able to come in with the movement that President Trump came in with, the administration, to fix the errors that the leadership of the FBI previously made, not like the 37,000 change people. And we're doing a ton of work. I didn't know we would be able to do it this quickly, is my surprise. And what that showed me was the people at the Bureau, literally people who've been there 30-year agents, they're coming up to me like, dude, we wanted to do that 15 years ago.
Really?
We wanted to do that 10 years ago. And then my question was like, you guys are the pros. Like, my job as the director, I'm not chasing down bad guys. I don't know how to do that. Is to give them what you need and get the hell out of the way. And they were like, dude, all they did was get in the way.
So what kind of stuff specifically did you start doing that they wanted to do 15 years ago?
Simple. The one that I've taken the biggest heat for. When I said, hey, these are the statistics from the USG, so you can take them or leave them, right? I don't know where else to go because nobody else does these, right? In the last calendar year, not this one, the year before last, 100,000 people were dying of drug overdoses a year. That's one every 7 minutes. A child or kid was being raped every 6.5 minutes in this country. And there were 2 homicides an hour in this country. And we have a 38,000 person workforce. And I said, okay, where are the agents? Where are intel analysts? Where is everybody? We got 55 field offices. We got 300 what we call RAs, resident agencies. So satellite offices to field offices in major cities. And they said, well, we've got 11,000 FBI employees in what we call the NCR, the National Capital Region. So if you take DC and you do a 50-mile, 60-mile radius around it, 11,000, almost a third of the workforce work there. And they said, what the hell are they doing there? They said, well, they mandated if you want a promotion, if you want to move up, you got to come back here and prioritize stuff here. So I said, look, we're moving agents and intel analysts to the field. And that's what I did. 1,500 people are going to the field because a third of the crime doesn't happen in Washington, D.C. and the 65 miles around it. And everybody was like, we've been wanting to do this forever. I mean, just think about it. One agent out in Indian country, one agent out in Texas, Arkansas, Washington State prevents a homicide, conducts a major drug bust, stops a ton of fentanyl or meth from coming into our country. One agent can do that. And the agents that I talk to now from around the country are just stoked.
That's awesome. That's great news. That really is great news because the fentanyl thing scares the shit out of me. It really does.
Well, it's one of the things I want to hammer down on, but whenever you want to get into that.
Yeah, please. Yeah. It's so terrifying because, we've shown it on the podcast, the amount that'll kill you.
Yeah.
It's so small. It's like the tip of a pencil.
Yeah, it's like point something milligrams. It's nothing. I'll give you. I put this to big programming. I love doing this long form stuff, and this is the only long form interview I'm going to do. I hope you know.
Oh, thank you.
I do one interview.
I'm honored.
I do one interview a month, and it's usually like a 5-minute TV thing just to keep abreast. And we do a lot of stuff on social media. But I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Even when I was on the campaign, I was just this is like the best way to get information out. So fentanyl, right? Everybody's like, how do you attack fentanyl? How do you stop this stuff? Okay, yes, let's go after the gangs. The narco terrorists down in Mexico. 100%. You got to go after the cartels, the drug trafficking organizations.
Not gonna lie, chat. If you're not with this shit, I ain't gonna lie. I hope my shit don't get booted. Rogan, please don't boot my shit, bro. I ain't got no. For me, I ain't got no email saying that my shit getting struck, bro. I'm just coming at it from a man. I feel like I'm not centered. Anyway, I don't think it matters. I think that's fine. But cool. So yeah, I'm fucking with this though, chat. Like this type of this is one of my niches I used to be into. But like I like to get I'm 4 minutes in. What's the word I'm looking for? Precursor, not a precursor. Disclaimer. I just like information. I don't know shit. I do know something. But I'm not with all the genocide and all that bullshit. I'm not with all of that. I mean, anyway, I don't fall on no extreme sides. But and I'm like, I think I'll be like a Kyle Kalinske if I ever got big enough. I ain't taking no dime from none of these gambling, none of that shit. I ain't taking not a dime, not a cent, motherfucker. You know what I mean? No big billionaires can buy me, bro. Back.
You got to shore up the southern border. The president has done an amazing job at both of those things, made it a priority. So we have decreased the amount of fentanyl being moved around, let's say, right? But not necessarily coming into the United States. So where's the root of the problem? The CCP. So the fentanyl precursors, the stuff you need to make fentanyl, comes from mainland China. That's it. Now, I'm sure like 1% of it comes from somewhere else in the world, but that's where it comes. They've got hundreds of companies standing up in mainland China, shipping this stuff out into the world. Now, their cover is that fentanyl has, and it does have a legitimate lawful purpose in terms of an anesthetic or medical use for anesthesiology related stuff, okay? So there's like a minimal use for it. And what the CCP has done is they've come out and said, this is like the biggest, like, talk about the devil pulling the wool over the world's eyes. They're like, we don't make fentanyl. They're right, they don't. They just give you all the ingredients for it and ship it to Mexico. And then what they did was, to trick the world, they came out and said, hey, we're gonna not sell precursor X. They're like, so now we're out of the fentanyl trade entirely. The problem is, there's 14 other precursors you can use to make fentanyl, and they're still shipping all of those. So what we did when I got to the bureaus, we stood up this massive enterprise to go after fentanyl precursor companies in mainland China. And they're probably not gonna like that. And what they're doing now, to get cute, is they're shipping that stuff not straight to here. They're going to places like India, and I'm also doing operations in India. And they're having the Mexican cartels now make this fentanyl down in Mexico still. Instead of going right up the southern border and into America, you know what they're doing? They're flying it into Vancouver. They're taking the precursors up to Canada, manufacturing it up there, and doing their global distribution routes from up there because we were being so effective down south.
Oh,
yeah, it's a huge lift, but part of it is Americans just don't understand the depth and depravity of fentanyl. But what's worse is fentanyl. You don't hear fentanyl deaths in China. You don't hear fentanyl deaths in India. You don't really hear fentanyl deaths in England, Australia, New Zealand, our Five Eyes partners in Canada. The Chinese, in my opinion, the CCP, have used it as a directed approach because we are their adversary and they don't like us and we don't like what they're doing when it comes to fentanyl. And their long-term game is this. How do I, in my opinion...
Wait, I need to put this stuff up real quick, chat. Oh, really real shit. BRB. It's some real shit. Some real shit right here, shot. Some real shit. up for yourself just like you planned. Let me help you expand. I'm the only one that understand. Yeah, doing that thing. Doing that. Moving it over the ring and I'm from Michigan. She from Michigan, but she tastes like water. And clean as water. I need to get this hoodie off. Got a glass in my hand every time. Oh shit. Oh yeah. Perfect. Oops.
Kneecap, the United States of America, our largest adversary. Well, why don't we go and take out generations?
Oops.
Of young United States, their long-term game is this. How do I, in my opinion, kneecap the United States of America, our largest adversary? Well, why don't we go and take out generations of young men and women who might grow up to serve in the United States military or become a cop or become a teacher? And that's what they're doing when you wipe out tens of thousands of Americans a year. It's a long-term plan for them.
Oh, that is such a dark, dark thing.
It is, but we're on it.
What else could be done, like with the Chinese companies? I mean, has there ever been any negotiation with Xi Jinping, with the United States, or where you could lighten up tariffs or do something and make some sort of a deal? Or is it just so profitable for them that they're going to do it no matter what if they can?
Here's the thing. They're not making a ton of money off of it. Right?
Oh, so it's really just for that purpose.
You could sell fentanyl precursors, and unless you jacked up the price to exorbitant amounts of money, they're not making a ton of money. And so it's an all-of-government approach. So I'm working with guys like the Secretary of Treasury to do sanctions on some of these companies, right? Then I'm working with our Five Eyes partners. And our Five Eyes are the 5 English-speaking countries in the world. Canada, America, England, New Zealand, and Australia, right? We share intelligence. We share classified intelligence on this stuff. So I'm asking them, I said, hey, it's not just affecting us. It will affect you and your population. The CCP just hasn't directed it at you yet, and they know that. And I said, guys, I need your help. I'm looking at intelligence reporting that shows fentanyl precursors are now in your country. The fentanyl itself isn't being deployed into your country, but it's there being manufactured. And so I'm asking for their help to shut down those factories and production facilities. And I'm asking the Mexican government's help to come and say, hey, your drug trafficking organizations are now exporting the manufacturing of fentanyl and getting creative in the ways in which they obtain fentanyl precursors. So they'll say, oh, we didn't get it from China. We got it from India. We got it from, wherever. And it's too cute by half. It's not like there's been a reduction in the amount of fentanyl precursors that mainland China produces. What there has been a reduction in is President Trump's administration's aggressive approach to just crush the fentanyl trafficking. And unfortunately, our adversaries adapt. We're so good down south on the border here. And we're so good in Mexico that they're moving it elsewhere.
Jesus.
But we're going to get them. I promise you. I promise the president and the American people. We will not have kids dying of fentanyl overdoses in our streets. Just give me a little bit more time. We have a massive operation going on around the world on this.
Well, that's great news. It's great to hear. So the fentanyl, a lot of it is, it's not just fentanyl overdoses, right? It's opiate overdoses overall. How much is a lot of it because people get hooked on pills, and then they want more, and then they could buy black market pills, and those are the ones that have fentanyl in it, or is it Molly and things like that have been laced with fentanyl?
So, great question. Nobody asks these questions. It's probably why your show's #1. They are so demonic in their ways. They're like, we'll make fentanyl, and people can go use fentanyl and get killed on fentanyl. Then what they do is they manufacture, as part of this lift, they being the drug trafficking organizations, once they get the precursors from the CCP, they take their pill presses and they make fake oxycodone. So literally, I'm just giving you an example. Make tens of thousands of pills of fake oxycodone, and we bust them for it. And in that fake pill is fentanyl. It's laced with fentanyl that kills people. Then the drug trafficking organizations, to make it appealing for the youth, shape this illicit narcotic in the form of candy and gummy bears. So you hear about kids in New York who just happen to have a trace amount touching it somewhere, also dying from it. So they have absolutely no rules or boundaries whatsoever when it comes to how they deploy fentanyl to get into our population. It could be through another drug, it could be through a synthetic, it could be through a fake drug, or it could be like, hey, and we've seized it. Thousands of pounds of material that looks like candy.
Are they doing it specifically to try to get people to overdose on candy, or are they selling this candy as a drug?
They're selling it as a drug.
Okay, and they're just saying it looks like candy.
It just looks appealing to kids, right? Like, so inner city youth, they're like, hey, put a pill down on the table, put a gummy bear down on the table. You know, a younger person's gonna be like, oh, that's cool. Let me try that. I mean, I can tell you stories from now until the entire show about high school kids on the verge of graduating, and they went out and took a pill that they thought was, you know, an upper, but it happened to be laced with fentanyl. They died. Their parents are calling, they're destroyed, and people are like, well, we gotta go after the drug traffickers. I'm like, we do, and we are. But what my job is to educate the American public on the root cause of the fentanyl that is destroying our society, and it's the fentanyl precursors. And I've asked, I literally just got off the phone with the Indian government. I said, I need your help. This stuff's coming into your country, and then they're moving it from your country because India is not consuming fentanyl. They're not. No one's dying over there from fentanyl. But I need you and your help. So my FBI's over there working with the heads of their government, law enforcement authorities, to say, we're going to find these companies that buy it, and we're going to shut them down. We're going to sanction them.
Or kind of just like tell parents, you know, and have messages across the U.S. government that like, hey, maybe we should do better with raising our children. Maybe we should have more SEL, social emotional learning. Maybe that'll do it. Maybe. Excuse me. Maybe we should look at the reasons why kids are doing drugs. Hello? You ever thought about that one? Or that one didn't cross your desk? Oh shit, got the wrong side, dude.
We're going to arrest them where we can. We're going to indict them in America if we can. We're going to indict them in India if we can. Start indicting in places like Canada and the UK and England and Australia. This is a global problem. And the reason it's gotten so bad is because nobody did anything for 4 years. You know, people are like, how do they stand this up? Well, if you give the CCP, who has an endless amount of money to deploy in human capital, that's what happens. It metastasizes.
Why didn't anybody do anything for 4 years? Have you been able to figure that out?
Look, to me, I'm a national security guy, and anything that kills 100,000 people a year is a national security crisis, right? It's what we call a tier 1 threat. And the last administration did not classify the drug trafficking enterprise as a prime threat against the American people. And so what happens is you reorient the system of intelligence collection operations. I mean, I'm not making this up. They said climate change is our biggest priority. DEI is our biggest priority. I mean, you guys have heard this, and you've had guests on that say it. But these are the ramifications in real life. I only have X amount of people that can target something, right? Same with the CIA, same with the DOD. But if the United States government and Uncle Sam and your commander-in-chief said, hey, I need your X amount of people looking here, I can't clone that army to look back at fentanyl.
Right.
Plus, we have to follow the chain of command.
It's so crazy that they would say climate change and DEI were the priorities for the FBI.
Well, for the government.
For the government in total.
So I'll give you a better example. So I was, in the end of the last Trump administration, I was chief of staff of the Department of Defense. One of the greatest jobs. At the time, I thought the greatest job I'd ever had. And when we left, we said, hey, you know, Iran's a huge threat. We got to never let up on the counterterrorism mission. We still have hostages out there we got to find and bring home. And the narcotics mission is a big priority. We handed off our playbook and we said, look, this is not a political issue. This is protecting the American people and our allies. So we hope you guys continue this effort. So the DOD has this thing called CONOPS, Concept of Operations. The Department of Defense has 3 million employees, and a CONOP is how you move the machine of the Department of Defense. Hey, we have a threat in Indo-PACOM. How many carrier groups are we sending down there? We got a threat with government X. What are we doing operationally, kinetically? What are we doing intelligence collection? That's a CONOP. The first concept of operation that the Biden administration launched at the Department of Defense was on climate change. You can't make this shit up.
What do you think that's all about? Like, as an outsider, as someone like looking at it going, I just don't understand. Like, where's the profit in this? Like, what's the motive? Like, what would incentivize all these people to get on board with it without someone logically stepping in and saying, hey, this is not our top priority?
I think at its So that was something I tried to answer when I was out of government for the last 4 years before I took this job. And the answer laid in the first Trump term. We were doing things so effectively on national security that hadn't been done before in such speed and volume that the media hated us for it because the other party had tried to do it and failed. And
Like
so,
what thing specifically?
so when it comes to, hostages, I can talk about that forever too. It used to be counterterrorism was a big portfolio. I ran it for the White House and National Security Council in the first Trump administration. We brought home, people don't know this, President Trump in his first term brought home and rescued over 50 hostages and detainees from around the world. That's more than every president before him combined.
Wow.
Did you hear about the successes of reuniting families with lost loved ones from Africa and the Middle East, or these operations that the president was courageous enough to greenlight to go into places like Afghanistan and do these hostage rescue ops and use SEAL Team 6 and Delta, or take out guys like Baghdadi and Soleimani? President Trump's directive was simple. We are going to protect the homeland. We're not going to endanger the lives of our armed forces and our intelligence community, but their job is to protect the homeland. And he said go, and we went. And I think there was such a resounding success that the media had such a hatred for President Trump and his administration. They just said, one, we're not going to give you the credit. Two, we're going to put out a ton of disinformation, which we can get into. And three, when they came time to transition governments from Trump to Biden, they just said, we're not going to do, and this is my opinion, we're not going to do any of the stuff that worked because then we'll have to attribute it to Trump's policies. So we're going to go off on our end. And I keep asking people to prove me wrong. Like, tell me something you did in that administration that carried out the apolitical national security mission to a T. Right? I mean, you had the Secretary of Defense in the Biden administration go down, go to a hospital, MIA.
Shit. I need to go get my charger. PS5. No. Desktop. I need to get my charger and yeah. No, where's the charger? And I can start this. Too hot for the sauce, baby. Oh. Come on, meet her tonight, baby. Meet her tonight. Are you? You look around. Bit. Oh, keep forgetting.
Literally AWOL, and didn't tell the commander-in-chief, and broke the National Command Authority. There is a reason, and I was the guy responsible for nuclear football for a part of my time at the White House, that thing, and there's an unbroken chain of command between the President of the United States, the Secretary of Defense, and the National Command Authority at all times, because shit happens. And what if it had happened in that 1 or 2 weeks the guy was in the hospital, and maybe something did, we don't even know, right? But no one, including the President, didn't know the Secretary of Defense was in the hospital. I can't tell you how big of a cataclysmic failure for the national security mission that is. And what I tell people when they're like, it's all right, it's not that big of a deal. What if Hegseth took a week out and said, I'm going to the hospital, I'm not telling anyone? What do you think the media would do to that guy and Trump if that were to happen now?
Yeah, it would be catastrophic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this person went to the hospital for what? What was the...
I keep losing my flame.
You got is in the letter over there?
I got it.
Yeah, you got it. What were they in the hospital for?
So Secretary Austin was in the hospital for medical issues, and I'm not saying you shouldn't have
Right, but there
treatment.
should be someone else that's...
There's a plan in place.
Right.
The Deputy Secretary of Defense comes in, every time a senior goes out, there's a continuity of government plan in place. Oh, you're out for a weekend treatment? No problem.
But they just hid all this?
They hid it.
That's insane.
And we broke it. We discovered it, and we broke it. And it wasn't the only time he did it. It was the second time, or the guy would end up doing it another time.
Why would they do that? Just to hide the fact that they're sick?
Well, that I think is up for debate. Like, people are old and they get sick. Like, no big deal. Everybody needs treatment. Everybody's got to go to Walter Reed.
But do you think that he thought it would hurt him politically if he looked weak?
I'm not. Yeah, I don't know.
Speculation.
Yeah, I don't know if I can answer that.
Right.
And the secretary at the time, Secretary Lloyd Austin, was like a 45-year military. It's not like this was new to him.
Right.
He'd been doing it his whole life. Next man up.
So he had made a decision to try to keep it private.
Intentionally, and he would come out later to say, "Well, I just wanted to keep it private." And I said, "Hey, man, your life when you're the Secretary of Defense,
What's good, bro?